Canadian wildfires put nearly 60 million U.S. residents under air quality alerts. Canadian wildfire smoke continues to plague the United States, triggering air quality alerts for at least 11 states across the Northern Plains, Midwest, and Great Lakes region Sunday. From Montana to Ohio, forecasters predicted nearly 60 million people would see decreased visibility and poor air quality, including residents of Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, Cedar Rapids, and Cleveland. A large swath of the Northern Plains from Montana through Illinois had an air quality index in the unhealthy range, which is level 4 of 6, on Sunday. While the concentration of smoke in the atmosphere should begin to wane by Monday, there is still enough smoke to support unhealthy air quality that is unhealthy for sensitive groups in parts of these regions into the start of the upcoming week, according to the National Weather Service's Weather Prediction Center. Winds will continue to push the smoke eastward, bringing a smoky haze to the northeast early in the week. The plume was birthed from nearly 400 fires ignited in Canada's province of British Columbia in the past week, nearly half of which were started by 51,000 lightning strikes from thunderstorms, the British Columbia Wildfire Service said. Some of those thunderstorms were dry or produced inconsequential amounts of rain to help quench any fires, a dangerous prospect in a province experiencing the worst level of drought. A firefighter died Thursday responding to a blaze near Revelstoke, a town in southeastern British Columbia, Canadian officials said. Wildfire smoke contains tiny pollutants known as particle matter, or PM 2.5, that can get into the lungs and bloodstream once inhaled. These pollutants most commonly cause difficulty breathing and eye and throat irritation, but have also been linked to more serious long-term health issues like lung cancer, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Parts of the U.S. will be at risk of smoke for the foreseeable future, depending on weather patterns and fire flare-ups, because Canada is experiencing its worst fire season on record. More than 24 million acres have burned so far this year, an area that is roughly the size of Indiana. However, a renewed Alcaraz won the opening game of the second set, and what followed was what we have come to expect of the Spaniard: bombastic fist pumps, loud cheers, and confidence. However, ever the neutralizer, Djokovic showed why he's a perennial Grand Slam winner, breaking back to drag himself into the second frame. With Andy Murray, the last man to beat Djokovic on center court, back in 2013, watching on, Djokovic held serve to level the second set in a game that included a 29-shot rally full of bruising shots to save a break point. Djokovic cupped his ear to the crowd after doing so. And so, the second set came down to a tiebreak, a daunting task for Alcaraz, with Djokovic having won his last 15 tiebreaks in a row in Grand Slams. With nothing to separate the two, a moment of brilliance, a backhand down the line past an onrushing Djokovic, won Alcaraz the tiebreak and the set, and a standing ovation from the crowd, too. The fans were being treated to quite the match. Midway through the third set came the longest game of this year's Wimbledon. A marathon of deuces and advantages in what was a microcosm of the match so far. After nearly 30 minutes of tennis, and on his seventh break point, Alcaraz took a 4-1 lead and wrestled control of the set. Rattled and behind for the first time in the match, Djokovic took a bathroom break and spent almost 7 minutes off the court before the start of the fourth set. The break seemed to help him refocus, however, and he was able to capitalize on crucial Alcaraz errors to clinch the fourth set and even the score. The pressure was reaching breaking point. The defining moment of the match came in the third game of the decider when Alcaraz produced a sumptuous passing backhand to break Djokovic and take an early lead. The usually unflappable Djokovic smashed his racket on the net post in frustration and received a warning from the umpire. From there on in, the crowd cheered each point as if it was match point, and as the finish line came into sight, the players produced some of their best tennis with Alcaraz coming out on top in a match that will live long in the memory.